Since thousands of years, the mankind has used most of its human and natural resources to the construction of houses and the building of monuments. But when supply chain management and the optimization of resources allocation appeared in the 1970s, the building sector became very specific. Indeed, contrary to other traditional industries, the construction industry has the particular difficulty that every building is different, a unique prototype, developed by a team of consultants, contractors and other suppliers that may have never worked together before and may never work together again. Nowadays, these actors have to face a new important challenge: sustainability.
Now we are going to talk about why sustainability is important in building sector. Firstly, construction is one of the largest users of energy, material resources, and water. Homes and buildings in industrialized countries represent 40% of energy consumption, 12% of drinking water consumption, 38% of greenhouse gas emissions, and 40% of solid waste. Secondly, efficient buildings provide better social and financial returns. The construction sector represents 10% of world GDP, 10% of the workforce. In addition, green buildings can also improve our health, create jobs, save resources, and help to protect forests.
Don't you think our business pollute a lot?
Oh no! Get out of the way, Trent! Trent!
See, I told you, pollution was a real concern. We should implement some sustainability solutions in our business.
I will call Nicola, he might know someone.
Pronto, Nicola's here.
Nicola, find an expert of sustainability in the construction business to help us, please.
Okay, maybe I know someone.
2 hours later.
I am Dr. Boschi, Nadia Boschi, and I work for Lend-Lease, as you know. And my role within the company is the head of sustainability for continental Europe. And I've been supervising the sustainability function primarily pretty much since we started, and that means 2006.
Perfect. And why and how have the company started to focus on sustainability?
Well, it is pretty much a market-driven choice, but and it is also within the DNA of the company with regard to the sustainability and the need to optimize the resources, awareness of the climate change responsibility of the sector, and pretty much the footprint associated with the business of delivering building and properties, which is very heavy in terms of raw material, energy, transport, and all of that. So also a business opportunity mapped in the very early side, not to end up by buying certificate business as usual and trying to compensate with the purchase of certificate, but a transformation to continue to have a leadership role in the future to come. And after, I would say, 13 years, this is paying off very nicely.
Okay, very interesting. And what are the main problems you are facing in order to achieve your results in terms of sustainability? I mean, for example, costs, supplier choice, customer certifications, and so on.
I would not say problems, challenges, that there is always a solution. A key factor or a winning factor, and which is both maybe a challenge and an opportunity at the same time, is the human factor. Like every element, every change that is being introduced in a company is the success of the change is driven by the person. So for sustainability is no difference from other changes, was to share with the different teams what needed to be done, what were the opportunity, the means and the opportunity for every single individual that was involved in the change, which for us, with regard to sustainability, is pretty much everyone, because it goes from finance to construction to design. Everybody has to line up and collaborate in the change, in the different roles. The aspect is to explain what you're trying to achieve and see what you need to have from every single company or professional to have, and how they can contribute to your final end product or objectives that you're trying to achieve.
Okay, but can you explain, please, the main bricks of your supply chain? I mean, how does it work? Because I remember you told me that right now Lend-Lease is very project-oriented. So probably your supply chain is modifying every time for each project.
What we introduce in the what we call procurement document, we include what we consider the minimum requirement. And the minimum requirement are expressed in terms of environmental requirement, social requirement. We share what they are, the indicators that we use to pre-qualify a given company for a specific service against our sustainability indicator. And that translates, for example, in, say, do you have a ISO 14001 certification, for example? So at the end of the day, every single supplier is assessed for economics, safety, environment, social, and so on. So that is the way we work through purchasing documents.
Yeah. So last two questions. How do you measure your sustainability result?
We measure, we are a public company, so we are listed at the stock exchange in Sydney, and all our environmental performances are measured against the Global Reporting Index. We have a third-party auditor, which is KPMG. So we have learned very nicely over these 13 years how to measure our environmental performances and disclose and setting targets and improve our performances over time. So the way we go and choose the indicators, it's a double resolution. We keep our dialogue with our key customers or key market, and we also measure the trends where we want to be. Every year is setting up a little bit, it's a benchmark a little bit higher than the year before. We do work against the 2020 United Nations goals. So our trajectory is to become carbon positive. So that is where we are headed. Now we are striving for zero waste. And that is the challenge, you know. It's a little bit, but the last stretch is always, it's like a marathon. It's always like very difficult.
And last but not least, what is your personal opinion about the sustainability trend in the next future?
Well, you know, sustainability is becoming more and more like a wide concept, you know, mass concept. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of greenwash, and sustainability for Lend-Lease and for myself as well is a solution that is triple based, meaning social, environmental, and economics. And searching a solution that makes sense is deeply rooted in the concept of good practice, common sense, not to create waste. You will not create waste. So we need to design and build cities that bring people together in a new way. Now that we have the technology, we can work from home or like here remote as we are doing. But in the future, I see two main aspects. opportunity for community of all type of individuals to get together in new city development, new city settings. Also on the environmental side, health and well-being together with the climate change aspect.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time and good luck for everything.
Thank you very much, Nicola, and I hope your generation, my work will be the beginning of your work.
The increase in environmental, social, and economic impacts of the construction industry and its products have fueled the demand for sustainable construction. That progressively led to two different trends. First, environmental and social aspects are taken into account with the implementation of new KPIs next to the traditional performance indicators. Then, the supplier sustainability performance is becoming one of the key aspects of tender selection criteria. There is growing awareness that sustainability cannot be achieved by organizations alone. They need to work in partnership with other members of the supply chain to develop construction projects based on environmental integrity, social equity, and economic viability. Indeed, a well-crafted and successful integration of sustainability issues throughout the supply chain to build a sustainable supply chain management can create a major business value.
Thank you for your attention. Now it's up to you.